Hiking and backpacking boots are one of the most important gear choices that you can make. They literally determine the quality and comfort of your time when out on the trail. So let's take a look at how to select the perfect pair of boots for your outdoor adventures. Hi there guys, this is John here of course, and I'm over here today at Sierra Trading Post Boise Outlet with Kevin Kaup to discuss hiking and backpacking boots. So Kevin, what do you say we jump into this with both feet?
Sounds good.
So Kevin, what would you say are the main considerations to take into account when looking at purchasing a new hiking or backpacking boot?
Some of the main considerations to take in would be like where you're going to be using the hiking boot, climate, terrain, weather, and then like what kind of style of hiking boot you're looking for.
Speaking of the different styles of hiking, what are the main categories or classes of hiking boots?
There's 4 main styles and categories of hiking boots. The first would be the low-cut, ultralight hiking boots, and then it would be just a general all-purpose hiker. And then you're going to go with a little bit heavier in a backpacking hiking boot, and then the heaviest and most durable would be the mountaineering and winter hiking boots.
So with those 4 main classes of boot in mind, would you mind taking us through those step by step, maybe starting with the ultralight style of hiking boot?
Absolutely. The ultralight hiking boots are designed for the backpacker who wants to cut down on their weight on their trips. Most of them are not waterproof. They're mostly lightweight, breathable, but they provide for easier comfort through the day. They're going to keep your feet dry. Even if you go through water, they're going to breathe a lot faster, so you are going to dry out quicker. And most of them do have a pretty aggressive tread to kind of keep going through most of the rugged terrain in Idaho and elsewhere.
Okay. A lot of us that are into ultra-lightweight backpacking, we tend to worry more about the weight that's on our back or the weight that's in our pack, and we tend to not think about something like our shoes. And a shoe like this, I mean, obviously this is a really light shoe. And so what are your thoughts related to, a shoe like that, for that style of hiking compared to obviously one of those heavier boots?
For the style of hiking for the ultralight hiker, it's the only way to go. I mean, it's the best bang for your buck that you can get. You're going to be getting a lot better of a shoe than you are with a trail runner. These ones provide a little bit more ankle support other than the low-cut ones do. They even often come with gaiter clips and stuff like that you can use. And like I said earlier, they have aggressive tread and lugs on the bottom.
Okay, great. And so in what situation, obviously this isn't the same style, another really lightweight boot, what would be the use for a low-cut boot like that compared to more of a mid-cut boot?
A lot of it's preference. A lot of customers or a lot of people who are going out hiking prefer to not have ankle support. A lot of people do. People with ankle injuries especially don't like to have the high-top boots because it rubs on scars or scar tissue. And so we get a lot of people asking for a lower-cut, still aggressive and still rugged shoe.
And one thing that I actually don't hear talked a lot about is the difference in weight on your feet. Now, I've heard that 1 pound on your feet actually equals 5 pounds on your back. Is that true?
Yeah, absolutely. Your feet are moving all day, and if you think about lugging one of these around as opposed to one of these, I mean, it's way different. This is 3 pounds a foot. This is 16 ounces, not even 16 ounces. It'd be like 12 ounces a foot. And so you're cutting a lot of weight and you're moving all day. And so at the end of the day, you're going to have a lot more energy wearing these out than you are when you wear these heavier duty mountaineering boots.
So, of course, moving up to the next class, I guess you're looking at an all-around hiking boot. If I was looking for just a general purpose hiking boot, maybe I'm just I go on a lot of day hikes and a little bit rougher terrain or maybe weekend hikes. A boot like this would do the trick for me?
Absolutely. They're a little bit stiffer, so you're going to have a little bit more support when you go on different angles and different terrain and stuff like that. Most of them do come with a waterproof liner like a Gore-Tex or Event, or I think that's Keen's liner. And so a lot of them come with different waterproofing liners in them, so you're going to be prepared for anything that the trail has to throw at you. So they're just good all-around tough, durable boots.
So moving up to the next class of boot, say I'm more of a heavyweight backpacker. I go on a lot rougher terrain. I'm carrying weights, of 30, 40, maybe even 50 pounds or more. What type of boot am I going to step up to in that situation?
When you're in that situation, you're going to step up to kind of a all-around backpacking boot. Most of them are in all leather, so you're going to get a lot of waterproofing. You can use a Nick Wax or something like that to also waterproof them as well. And then most of them have Vibram soles, and so they're going to provide a little bit more traction and a little more stability. And then it's a lot wider of a base than a traditional hiking shoe, and so it's going to provide that stability kind of left and right.
Okay. And so all around, you're getting a lot more support for your feet to transfer that load that you're carrying on your back.
Absolutely, a lot more support, and especially a lot more support in the ankles, kind of to hold that load while you're walking. So.
Okay, well that makes perfect sense. And one question I actually had revolved around the traction of the boot. I hike in a lot of rough terrain myself here in Idaho, and so what do I look for as far as the sole goes? What am I looking for to offer the best traction in those rough types of terrain?
As far as the sole goes, you're going to look for just really deep lugs within them. These ones have pretty deep lugs in themselves. And so kind of the deeper the lug, the more traction you're going to get. A lot of brands do angle the lugs a little bit differently to maybe give yourself some more braking or more gripping or stuff like that. So, but oftentimes it's just a little bit deeper the lugs, the better.
Okay, and then things like the heel brake, things like that will offer.
Yeah, and most of them, I know La Sportiva is really big on using the heel brake impact system and stuff like that. So they definitely came up with different tread patterns to kind of for each situation.
Okay, great. Well, it looks like a good selection of boots there, and it leaves us with actually the last class, which would be the winter or mountaineering boots. And I know those are a little bit more technical. So could you kind of give us the rundown on those?
Yeah, these ones are often a lot more stiff in nature than the other ones. Some of them have a steel shank in them, and they're just kind of an all-around more boot than the other ones. They're a lot stiffer. This Columbia here is a great example of kind of a winter boot that we've got. It's got a gaiter clip for it, and it does have a backing that will make it available for snowshoes and stuff like that. And it's also got the warm insulation, so it's better for kind of a winter backpacking expedition kind of thing.
Okay, so it's a little bit more versatile in the fact that it offers attachment points for gaiters, your snowshoes, crampons, things like that.
Yeah, they're a little more versatile kind of for anything that you're going to experience while you're out there in the field. They'll be ready for.
Okay, great. Well, thank you for giving us a look at all these different boots and the different styles and uses. It's really actually helpful. I know for myself, having the knowledge just of the weight savings, in a boot like this compared to what I would typically consider a regular backpacking boot. I mean, that's a real difference. I really appreciate that information.
Yeah, absolutely.
Another question that I actually had is price an indicator of quality when it comes to boots?
Oftentimes price can be an indicator of quality. A lot of people tend to shy away from the really expensive boots and go towards a less expensive boot. And you're going to spend a little bit more on an expensive boot, but you're going to have that boot for a lot longer. It's going to be a lot more durable. So oftentimes the more expensive the boot, the higher end materials that they use, and they're going to be a little more durable and last a little bit longer.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. So you're saving over the long term.
Exactly. It's a long-term savings over short term.
Okay, so say I've actually settled on a particular boot or a boot style that I want, a boot like this. What do I do in store before I actually purchase this boot to ensure that it's going to fit properly and provide me the maximum amount of comfort when I'm out on the trail?
One of the main things to kind of keep in mind, which a lot of people don't know, is trying on boots later on during the day. Your feet tend to swell as you're standing around and walking around. So knowing that your feet are going to be a little bit different, even a half size different later in the day, is going to help when you're tired at the end of a hike. So trying on shoes later in the day definitely helps because it's more of a true fit.
Okay, that's great information. I've actually also heard that it's a good idea to wear the socks that you'll be actually hiking in when you come to trying a pair of boots. Is that
absolutely? A lot of the people who come in, if they try them on with a dress sock, that's not the sock you're going to wear. It's not going to work. It's really thin, and then the boot's going to fit completely different at that point. So bringing in the sock, or even purchasing a sock that day, or even just trying one on with the type of sock you're going to use, definitely helps.
Okay, that definitely makes sense. And I guess the last question I have regarding that is there anything else I can do in store to make sure that the boot is going to work? I know some stores offer maybe incline ramps or other devices. Can you maybe speak to that just quickly?
Absolutely. An incline ramp is crucial when trying out a boot. You definitely want to lace your boot up like you're going to wear it, and then start at the top and kind of stutter step your way down and make sure that your toes aren't hitting the front, because if they're hitting the front 4 or 5 steps down an incline ramp, they're going to hit on the way down from a mountain. And then you turn around and walk back up and make sure that your heel isn't slipping in the back, because that would cause a blister pretty quickly.
Okay. That's definitely good advice.
Yeah.
Blisters are the worst thing we want on the trail. Okay, so once I've actually tested the shoes, picked them out, purchased them, what do I need to do prior to hitting the trail with them? Do I just break them out of the box and go for a hike, or what do I do?
Prior to kind of taking them out on your first trip or your first adventure would be just wearing them around the house for a short amount of time. A lot of the stiffer ones are going to take a long time to break in. Some people have had them on for 2-3 years and still haven't broken them in. So definitely taking them on like short walks around the block if you got a dog and you're walking a dog, or even taking them on little mini hikes. That way you're breaking them in, but you're not committed to them when you're out there and you don't have anything else to change into.
So now that I've actually chosen a boot, purchased it, went through the trouble of breaking it in, got it home, hiking in it, I'm loving the boot, what can I do to ensure the maximum lifespan out of the boot?
To ensure the maximum lifespan out of the boot, you definitely want to use a Nick Wax saddle soap, some kind of a leather cleaner and a leather conditioner to make sure that the leather kind of stays the way it should, and it'll definitely help with the waterproofing abilities of it.
Okay, that makes sense. Is there anything else off the top of your head that you can think of?
That's pretty much it, and making sure that if your eyelets or anything are getting weak or something, you get them replaced before they actually bust. And then changing your shoelaces regularly to help kind of with that as well.
Okay. And I guess the last question that I have for you is, we're obviously here in the store today, but what is your personal opinion on buying boots online?
Buying boots online, a lot of people tend to shy away from it because they want to be able to try it on, they want to be able to put it on their foot, but there's so much more selection online than there is in retail stores. And on sierratradingpost.com, we do offer sizing guides that will help you figure out which size you'll need for the boot or shoe. And then there's also customer reviews that are very extensive, and they discuss, does this shoe fit correctly? Does it fit right? And it will definitely help in choosing a shoe size. And so buying online, I think, is a great option because you get a lot more selection that way.
Okay. And in my experience, you get some pretty sweet deals as well from you guys.
Absolutely. There's always key codes and coupons and stuff to definitely save some money on.
And if I did happen to get a boot that didn't quite fit, do you guys offer a pretty fair return refund policy?
Yeah, absolutely. If it's 6 months for a full return, and after that it turns into a gift card, but you can always bring them back into the stores or ship them back to the warehouse, whatever's easiest.
Okay, well, that's great to know. Great to know. On a final note, I would like to thank Sierra Trading Post for their part in helping make this video possible today, as well as making such high quality gear available to us at such amazing prices. It is, after all, about getting out and enjoying the outdoors and the experiences that we can find out there. Now, to take advantage of even greater deals than they already offer, you can visit them via their website at sierratradingpost.com or over on Facebook for special discount codes as well as coupons that you'll find over there. Now, as we wrap up here, guys, I just wanted to say thank you very much for your continued support and encouragement. It is truly appreciated as always. And until next time, you guys take the best of care, and we'll be seeing you soon.